Hi Cancer, and welcome to your November Tarot and Astrology Scope. Mercury goes direct on the 3rd of November in your sector of family and home. Venus is also in that sector and will remain there until the 21st, smoothing out some of the tensions brought up by Mercury retrograde with your family, or a little bit of a hiccup with redecorating. Venus will make everything in that area so much more beautiful and pleasant. Mercury will enter Scorpio on the 10th, and there will be a new moon in Scorpio on the 15th, and Venus will enter Scorpio on the 21st. A lot of beautiful activity in your 5th house of romance, pleasure, and fun. So this should be a pretty good month for you, Cancer. It should be a lot of fun and a lot of excitement. Now, the third and final Jupiter conjunct Pluto aspect of this year, across from you in the sky, Jupiter at 22 degrees, Pluto also at 22 degrees, is going to affect your partnerships once more before Jupiter leaves to go into Aquarius and stops doing that dance with Pluto. So this is going to be a time of transformation. It's going to be a time to evaluate what partnership means to you, what lessons you've learned. Saturn is going to be leaving there too, so there's a real clean of house for your partnerships at the moment, really getting to grips with things. Maybe you've reunited, maybe you've rekindled, maybe you've met somebody new. All of this energy is going to be amplified at this time. And further good news is on the 13th, Mars goes direct in your career zone. It is going to be a much easier remainder of the year without Mars in retrograde for you in terms of getting your career in motion. But let's talk again about that new moon in Scorpio. It's going to be a time of wish fulfillment. It's actually going to be aspecting Jupiter in your partnership zone, and it's in your 5th house of love and romance and children. So everything there will be touched by gold, Cancer. There's quite an emotional full moon at the end of the month, which we'll get to in the mid-monthlies. It might make you feel quite emotional, so do take care of yourself and enjoy November, Cancer. It's going to be a much easier month than the last. Bye.
Hi Cancer, welcome to the tarot portion of your overall November 2020 forecast. There's a very emotional eclipse coming up for you. It's going to make you feel really, really in your feelings, really quite deep. And it's a beautiful full moon, a beautiful eclipse for healing. High Priestess, very psychic, very intuitive, but more so in the sense of understanding intuitively what you need in order to feel better, what you need in order to release some pent-up feelings and some pent-up frustrations. Around the final day of November, and it seems peculiar to jump to it, I know, but around the final day of November, you're going to probably feel like you're letting a lot of things come out, and it's cathartic. It is a process of release the star so that you can have that moment of hope. But what is the star really? You know, aside from that emotional release and feeling a lot better, the star is much to do with that Scorpio new moon on the 15th after the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction on the 12th. And Mars going direct on the 13th. It is a time of wish fulfillment. It's a very lucky new moon, a very auspicious new moon. It is going to be sextiling Jupiter in Capricorn in your 7th house, and if things in love have felt concerning, they're taking a turn. They're going to start working out. There's reason to have hope. Scorpio is your 5th house of love, of romance, and of children. So there's happy tidings coming for you in those areas with this new moon. And if it's a fresh start you're looking for, if it's some energy you want to call into something that you already have in a relationship, then this moon will give it to you. Mars going direct in your career sector as well is pretty fantastic. You're getting your energy back. You're getting a much needed move, but you're not doing so as if the Mars retrograde never happened. You're actually moving forward very intentionally, Cancer, in your career. You've got a new kind of focus, a new kind of drive, a new kind of energy for your future that I think you needed, because you needed that balance between your career and your family. You always have the merging between home and work. And as we lead up to that eclipse in Gemini that is on the axis of your 12th house and your 6th house of day-to-day routine and work, you're going to have a lot more reason to understand why you need that balance between work and home. 4 of Cups. The Chariot. The 6 of Cups. Temperance. And the Knight of Wands. Beautiful. Clarified by the Princess of Wands. And the Knight of Pentacles. Now, I don't leave these in a court card typically, so one more. The King of Pentacles. Another court card, okay. And the 5 of Wands, I see. One more. The Ace of Wands. So you have a lot of outcome cards because I typically don't leave it on a court card. A court card would be a page, a queen, a king, or a knight. And you have 4. So there's a lot of people coming up for you, Cancer. This is really interesting. So I'm thinking this is a lot to do with the fact that we just had a blue moon. As I'm filming this, it was actually last night. The blue moon on Halloween in Taurus, which is your 11th house, which is actually your wish fulfillment sector as well. But I'm seeing this is a lot to do with your social connections because the effect of the full moon will last for 2 weeks. Right up until that new moon. So until the middle of November, Cancer, your focus is a lot to do on the people you have in your life. And I feel like a lot of you are surrounded by very interesting energies. In fact, specifically, we have fire and earth. So we have the air signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. That could be a child of yours in particular. We have the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We have a bit of challenges there, I have to say. So this is interesting. I suppose it's a lot to do with Venus in Libra coming into a bit of friction with Mars in your career zone. A lot of you are looking to feel that resolve in your career and move forward with direction, but a lot of you have children that are fighting or needing your attention, and a lot of siblings maybe that need your attention. A lot of people want your energy in the first half of the month, Cancer. A lot of people want your attention. And I think some of you are maybe feeling a little bit like you don't have enough energy to give it to everybody. Now, that's not negating the fact that with this 6 of Cups, you want to connect. In fact, you want to reconnect with people. There may actually be people that you haven't heard from in a while or even a long time, or reconnecting and reuniting with family in the first to middle part of November. Some kind of coming home, some kind of ceremony. For a lot of you, that is the nostalgia. And for some of you, you're bringing some sort of element of the home into your career. Either that's, the obvious working from home, which is quite common now, but it could also be that you're becoming an interior designer, or you're running a new business from home, or you are selling homes, or whatever this is. I feel that a lot of you, your family is demanding a lot of attention. And I think it's to do with Venus being in your 4th, because Venus, when it's in your family sector, it really is a time when you're very appealing to your family. They really want your love, they want your affection, sometimes they want your money, but and I think that there's a challenge here to your steps forward in career. What the cards are kind of indicating to me though is that if you make the first half of the month a lot about family and your intimate connections, your romances, your friendships, if you make your energy a lot about that, you'll have more time in the second half of the month to go for it in career matters, to fight off the competition, to make new steps, to make bold changes. What you're really wanting with the Chariot in the middle is that forward momentum. You're wanting that drive, but you have to let the retrogrades and the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction pass. Underneath, King of Cups. Your energy, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. Underneath that, the Hierophant. This could be a marital partner. This could be a new committed relationship for you. Page of Pentacles. You and a partner could be making business moves. That's kind of indicated by the astrology. But for a lot of you, if you're with a water sign, it seems to get more committed, or there is a new decision as a pair. So that's pretty interesting. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. And for a lot of you, with Neptune stationing direct at the end of the month in your 9th house of philosophy, open-mindedness, Neptune being there has really got a lot of you thinking about a spiritual practice in particular. And I do get this impression, Cancer, that a lot of you could be becoming more religious or more spiritual or connecting with the divine, particularly as we head into Christmas. I think a lot of you will maybe be finding more, even if you didn't have zest for the holidays of any kind or any kind of religion, I feel that a lot of you towards the end of the year are picking that up. Now, Jupiter being in your partnership zone, Saturn and Pluto all sitting across from you are getting these beautiful beams from the new moon in Scorpio. So what I'm seeing for you is that this King of Cups for a lot of you could be that Scorpio new moon, and the Hierophant could be those solid partnerships, commitments that we find ourselves very, almost coming into with a set of ideals and principles. And the new moon is really a time for you to get clear on what those principles are. And if it's love that you want to call in, it's that kind of energy. I get the impression that if you're calling in love, a lot of you want this complete contradiction of a character, someone who's very fun and outgoing, but very stable and serious at the same time. And it seems like a contradiction, but people in themselves are contradictory. So I think a lot of you are perhaps feeling that you're never going to find or experience that kind of relationship with someone who has both, right? I think you'd be wrong in that case, because if you think about it, most people are inherently contradictory, and people are multifaceted, and people have depth that we rarely see, I think a lot of you are finding with all the court cards and the outcome that if you're calling in more friends, or you're calling in new love, or you're calling in more time with people, you're going to get it. So that full moon in Taurus, the blue moon, has aligned with quite a surprise of incoming energy. Quite a surprise, quite a few characters. Now, the thing that's challenging, Cancer, I would quite like to get to. This Temperance card. The thing that's challenging is that this eclipse that we're heading up to, in the second half of the month, as much as it's good to start the planning process with your new goals or your new career, or start putting things into motion, the full moon in Gemini, that eclipse, you are ruled by the moon. So please carve out some time in the latter half of the month for alone time, because some things you have to process. And I know that sounds like, being a water sign, sometimes I think we wonder, is there anything else but feeling? We feel so much as water signs. This Temperance card is saying that you may find, because Temperance is the balancing between water and fire, you may find that your fire, if you have fire in your chart, you might find that it dominates and you neglect that emotional side for a little bit, just based on the astrology. You might find that you are proceeding with so much action and yang energy, masculine direction, that you forget that there is an eclipse coming up in a very emotional side of the sky for you, and it needs your attention. For a lot of you, the Temperance card is an area of your life where you've not fully healed, and the 12th house is all about therapy and any kind of catharsis, emotional resolution is well aspected for you. It's something that you need to do. And you might think that the healing you seek is in your past. Like, if you could change the past, then you would be fine. Perhaps that's true, but the past kind of has already been and gone. That ship has sailed. You need to get into this feeling of acceptance and processing it, however hard that may be, because these emotions are going to come up. Even if you feel like you're completely in control of your emotions at the beginning of the month, they are going to start to rattle you a little bit. And that's why you need to be prepared. That's why you need to have that openness to any kind of healing, within reason. Don't join a cult. Healing of some kind. Anxiety. Yeah, that is coming. Or that's maybe what you're feeling at the moment. Just moments of heightened emotion. Now remember that anxiety is a fear of the future. And for a lot of you with the Six of Cups here, I feel that you're trying to resolve that by looking backwards, by looking at the past, by trying to... hostilities. I hate to say this, but I'm going to anyway. I remember once hearing whenever I think I was in school. No, I think I'd left school. Maybe I was in university. And it said, somebody said to me, before you diagnose yourself with a mental health issue, first make sure you're not surrounding yourself with a-holes. And I remember actually at the time looking around and thinking, oh dear, you know, you have a lot of people around you here. With the Five of Wands, some of them are challenging you. Good time to establish some boundaries and say, I'm not going to take into, I'm not going to carry your drama and your emotions for you. I sometimes feel a little bit like with water signs, especially, and this is just an observation. This isn't necessarily truth. Sometimes if you're dealing with a fire sign, because they can really deal with their emotions outwardly, their frustrations, and their fears and stuff, and they can really verbalize it, whereas you kind of internalize it a little bit. So they can really rile you up with all these feelings and suddenly make you start to carry emotions and frustrations that aren't actually yours to carry. So just be mindful. There could be some dramatic people around you this month. It's not surprising with the moons. But just make sure that you are making time for yourself and you're not unnecessarily, because there's some people you can't avoid, right? But make sure that you're not unnecessarily wasting your time with people and getting upset over people that actually don't take it that seriously at all. The door to value is saying that your time is more valuable than that, Cancer. Your time, your emotions, all of that is worth so much more than what you're paying out to others or what they're paying to you in the first half of the month. Final card, appreciation. If there's going to be people in your life, Cancer, they have to appreciate you for sure. You have to appreciate yourself and you have to appreciate them. But appreciating yourself is a good opening into more valuable opportunities and relationships and avoiding this unnecessary anxiety and hostility that's around you at the time. Because you are going to go through an emotional process in the latter half of the month and you want to make sure you're supported by people who have your best interests at heart and not people that are going to try and make it about them. Okay? In the extended, we're going to get into the water signs, the Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, the fire signs, the earth signs, and we'll throw in the air signs as well. So I will see you there, Cancer. Have a wonderful November and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.